Hey there lovely teachers, my name's Nicola Canton. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things to do with music teaching. Today we're doing a book review and we're looking at Diversions, which is by Juan Cabeza. This is available through the Piano Safari site. So in today's video I'll give you an idea of what the books are like, what I love about them, who I think they're for, and then where you can get your hands on them. So there are two of these Diversions books and they give you these little etudes. They're 1 page each, and across the two books you have 42 of them. Now they are etudes with a difference. I would like to say that these are etudes that students will actually want to practice, and I would like to suggest that you don't tell your students that they're studies, okay? Just don't translate the word etude for them, and I think they'll just think they're awesome little pieces. If you're familiar with Dozen a Day, I don't want to knock Dozen a Day, but these are like Dozen a Day that you actually want to play. I know there are fans of Dozen a Day out there, but they're not always the most inspiring for modern students, and these sounds are much more fresh and modern, and yet they can be used like Dozen a Day in that you can transpose them. There's transposing suggestions on the pages from Juan, which is great, and they develop various technical skills that students at the late beginner to intermediate level will need. So let me show you 3 of my favourite pieces so that you can hear some of the diverse sounds and the technical skills that come up in these books. The first one I've picked out is Diversion 1. This is a really gorgeous little piece, and honestly I think you could play this for a performance. I think it's beautiful. It has pedaling throughout. The student is directed to hold the pedal for each line at a time, and then there's transposing suggestions, as I mentioned, at the bottom of the page, suggesting trying to transpose it to D and A. But this is what the original version sounds like. The next one is Diversion 6. This is also in book 1, and I wanted to show you this to see so you can hear how much contrast there is between the various pieces, or etudes if we want to call them that. So this one is really fun, and for some students it'll look a bit intimidating maybe if they're not used to moving in and out of the black keys, but that's part of what is magic about this piece, is they're going to want to develop that skill because it sounds really cool. Now it does say rather fast at the top, at the tempo mark, but I've listened to the track and it's not super fast, so I'm going to go approximately what I remember the track to be. So how fun is that little piece? It kind of sounds like it could go in a video game or something, and I mean that in a good way in terms of students really wanting to learn it. They could learn to do it a lot faster than that, and I think that would be wonderful for them too, but even at that pace it's a good challenge to get in and out of the black keys for a student at this level. The one I've picked out from book 2 is Diversion number 26. It says to play this with energy, and it is non-legato. This is a great one. Like, it could be called a chord study in another book, but it sounds great, and yeah, it's just super fun to play. Let me show you how it goes. So I think you can see how interesting those little pieces are, and I love what Juan manages to do with this little technical thing he wants to work on, but he makes it sound like a real piece of music. One suggestion I have for you, and I haven't even looked to check if there's notes in here or if Juan suggests this, so this is just from me as far as I know, but that would be to change the names. They're called Diversion 26, Diversion whatever number, and that's totally fine. But I would honestly have my students listen to it and then write their own title above that, because I just think they kind of deserve a bit more description. But I think it's great if that comes from our students. So I quite like that they're left plain, so our students could come up with titles themselves based on how they want to express the music. So what I love about these books is, number one, as I've already mentioned, they're technical studies that your student will actually want to learn because they sound really cool. I love that they come with backing tracks. There's just a link in the front of the book, and you go there, you enter the password you've been given, and you can download them. So that is great. Make sure your students do that and listen to them at home as well. I think that's a great opportunity. I also love that they're all one page, so they're really consistent in their length. So much, especially when you get to like the level of book 2, if you instead went with like a Czerny collection at that level or something like that, or even Hanon, something like that, you would get a lot more variety, especially in say Czerny or Bergmüller. You'd get a lot more, some that are like several pages. And I just think if it's supposed to be an etude, I mean, it's too much. We need short, snappy things that really get to the point, get something across, and do so musically. And that's the main thing that I love about this book. So who is this for? Well, I think it is for 2 key groups of students. So my number 1 student would be a student who's in, say, Piano Safari level 2, level 3, and they're a student just eats up stuff. They practice loads, they're really consistent about following all the assignments you give, and they need a bit more variety, and you want to really tap into that enthusiasm and use it to develop their technical skills. That would be my first type of student. Student 2 or B or whatever would be actually a transfer student, or someone who isn't practicing a lot. So it kind of is both ends of the spectrum, because I think this could provide a great option as a sort of pseudo method book. It's nothing like a method, but it would provide some progression while a student is also, say, focusing on actually just playing things by ear, or on improvisation, or on one big, huge project piece that is way beyond their level, but that's what they're motivated by. This would keep them progressing, keep them reading new things, and they're satisfying because they're a page. You get through them relatively quickly, and they could be those sweet spot like 1 to 2 week pieces. And for a transfer student, they could help you catch up their technique if that's an area that's lacking, up to the level where they're currently playing, and kind of even things out without them realizing that you feel like there's a giant hole there that you're filling in with this book. You could just introduce them as shorter pieces that we're going to work on alongside your bigger projects. So you can grab these books at pianosafari.com. They're under supplemental books on their site in their store. And you can also get a discount code if you're a Vibrant Music Teaching member. So make sure to check the discount section if you're a member. Let me know if you've used these books and what you think of them, who you've used them with, which are your favorite pieces. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and I'll see you back here for our next video.